Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go over a gold and silver daily technical analysis update. I'm going to go over the dollar, the 10-year, go over all the precious metals. They are coming under pressure. We're getting sold off here. Honestly, inflation's there. The market conditions are there. We've got a stronger dollar. That's the only thing that's a little bit different. Is this dollar creating a run away from gold, silver, platinum? It's tough to say. Usually in market conditions where gold, silver, and platinum go up, priced in US dollars, the dollar is usually going down, but we've had dollar strength here recently. But we'll look at the charts. I'll give you my opinion. Again, this is just my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. But let's dive in here and I'll show you what the charts are telling us. Behind me is the dollar. It's the Dixie DXY. It is increasing in strength. It is getting stronger. And it looks like it's going to continue that strength upward to maybe even a few on the index, 2 points higher perhaps or more. Looking at the 10-year yield, the yield is moving sideways. We were up a little bit today, 0.84% on a daily basis. We're just kind of moving back and forth here. So the 10-year yield, I would say, is pretty stable. Gold sold off today. We had higher producer price index numbers, some of the highest ever, and somehow gold went down. I don't know how this is happening. It is dumbfounding a lot of people, I think. We've got gold going down here. Looking at it, it is a bearish engulfing somehow, so this could head lower given this chart pattern. We are in this large pattern on a big long-term perspective, so maybe we'll come back, find some support, and head on higher, but a little confusing with the numbers that were released today and the reaction to those numbers. Silver headed lower today, down 38 cents. We've got a little wick in the bottom. That's good. Finding a little bit of support here at the bottom. So what happens is it sells off and then we get bought up towards the end of the day or throughout the day. You can kind of see that buying up, but we're still breaking below this pattern, but we've got downward momentum. We're trying to square this thing up. Hopefully we can square it up here soon. What that means is that the momentum was going from down to sideways, and then eventually we can work our way back up. So that's silver. Platinum getting sold off today. Looking at a weekly candlestick, we've got kind of a bearish formation where we could head lower a little bit. We could go and retest the top of this pattern here. That would offer a very excellent buying opportunity if it gets down there. This is what it looks like on a daily basis. We broke below this support line, heading a little bit lower. We do have support underneath here at like 909 or so, 910. Zooming way in, you can see us breaking below that support here. Looking at Karora Resources, doing the daily candlesticks, nice big update today with a small down day next to it on the dailies. This is usually a bullish formation to move on higher. You can kind of see downward momentum. It's squaring that move up. So maybe we've got some positive line, some positive light around this one because its momentum is starting to turn around, which is good. EXK, on the other hand, it's continuing to go below its downtrend, and it's still in a downtrend heading lower. There it is, heading lower. Looking at SILJ, the ETF, it is heading lower. We have not been able to buck this downtrend. It's been pretty relentless. We did break the down. Well, I'm going to redraw this like this. We're still in the downtrend here. I didn't draw it perfectly. GDX, looks like we're trying to find some support where it's at right now at $30. We found support back here in early December. We came up. We're coming on back. If this can hold, we got good buying pressure here, smaller selling pressure. Let's see if this can hold here for GDX. We're still inside this big old pattern of a kind of a descending wedge flag pattern type move. Here's metallic minerals. Again, we've got this massive pattern. It went to break to the upside of it, and we've been dragging along its support resistance line. Koya Silver still in this big old downtrend. I don't know if I'd be jumping on that train right now. Discovery Silver, this guy's been moving on up. Nice big up week so far. So this one looks positive. Hopefully it can maintain that momentum. I was up 3.87% today. It looks decent compared to everything else, that's for sure. AG, or First Majestic Silver, still, I mean, we broke out of this descending wedge. We tried running, and it just, we keep coming into sellers. Every time we try breaking, we run into sellers here. We're still in this gigantic overall pattern that's developing, which is still not broken. Everything's intact. Newmont was down 1.75% today, chopping sideways, still looking okay. Nothing broken there. Yamana Gold, nothing broken yet. We're still in this pattern. But man, are we struggling on a lot of these companies. It just seems like we're selling off all the time. Will this break down? I mean, we'll find out here shortly. That's Yamana Gold. Impact Silver showing a little bit of strength today, up 1.81%. I don't know where it's finding this strength, but we've got support underneath this at basically right where it's at. And AAGFF, if this thing starts to accelerate lower, I would say that you could see a good downward move. So this could potentially fall out and break to the downside for AAGFF. Aftermath Silver. Now here's Sandstorm Gold, royalty companies. And look at this, we're breaking to the downside of this pattern here. And I'll be honest, guys, I mean, maybe we have a deflationary scare coming. The fear is out there. It is out there, and it's ravaging the gold stocks. I mean, we're breaking below some resistance here too. It's not looking good for Sandstorm Gold. I'm not doing anything with my shares. I'm just holding on. I'm really not doing anything. This is still scribing out a massive pattern for Franco-Nevada. Like to see some support hold here at maybe $126 right below it. And if we can get some momentum to the upside, which we don't have at the moment, at least on the very short term. EMX breaking to the downside. It's still hanging out there. Do we have, some buyers left in this to push it back above its support line? I mean, we'll find out. Teuton Resources, we're back above the support line. It's looking a lot better than it was down here at $1.40 for $1.74, at least momentum-wise. I mean, buying-wise, you want to buy at 140, 145. You can. Wheaton Precious Metals, big old pattern. It still is in the pattern. Everything's looking okay. Just requires patience. Gold Royalty Corporation playing with its lower support line here. Could it break out to the downside? It could, but it's getting there. MTA is already breaking to the downside. This thing does not look healthy right now. It's struggling. It is definitely a break. And we could see further downside. Could it be a shoulder, head, shoulder? But then the shoulder, it basically would resolve itself here, but we're still breaking down. Mavericks Metals, it looks like it's breaking down. I had a projected move about 370 or so. We could see a little bit lower pricing on that. Royal Gold looks like it's struggling as well. It's right at its support line on a big picture pattern. Would not want to see that thing break to the downside. And here's a Cisco Gold Royalty. Again, we're playing with these patterns on the downside. We might see a kind of a deflationary scare. Maybe the fear's out there, and maybe we got something in the system that I can't find or see. But the markets are afraid of something, it seems like. Dollars going up. 10-year hasn't really moved anywhere. Usually when you see people afraid, you see the 10-year start to decline. I haven't seen it yet. So, and copper's remaining pretty resilient. If I were to pull up copper here and just do a look at copper, and I haven't looked at it today. So this is my first time looking at copper here. Here it is. Get me out of here. Copper's just been moving sideways. It doesn't know which direction to go. It's confused. So copper's being resilient. Now, if I saw copper dive really bad, and we see the 10-year yield dive, the yields, then I'd be afraid. But we haven't seen it yet. So I'm just kind of sitting here going like, what the heck's going on? I think it's just a normal pullback with fear in the market. So again, I'm not doing anything. The valuations, the pricing, the pricing doesn't determine value. And what pricing does is it usually impacts people and their emotions. The value is still here. The value is all over the place in gold and silver. I mean, all these mining companies, they're going to be making a bunch of money, and the value is there. So what is going to unlock that value in terms of price? And I've been trying to figure that out. And I mean, everything, expansion phase of real estate, we have everything is basically in line outside of the dollar. And maybe the dollar is, and interest rates. Interest rates are still very, very low. I think we're just early. And we've already seen good moves, though. I mean, we've seen good moves. We got the pullback. Everything's good, and everything looks good from a valuation perspective. So I don't have answers for you guys. I'm trying to figure it out myself. But in terms of fundamentals of why this would not be going up, we've got inflation. It's showing up in PPI. It's showing up in CPI. Everything is red hot. The market does not believe it, or the market is trying to hold this stuff down or something. But I'm holding on to my shares. I'm not doing anything with them. And I'm going to continue to ride. I would buy more if I see short-term strength. I haven't seen the strength yet. We're seeing weakness. So I'm going to hold off on anything on the short term at this moment. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.